In the first part, we talked about the KitBash asset. Let's move over to the BMS asset. The object file and the texture directory slots are set up correctly. The image settings correspond to the suffix of the actual texture file, so I'm good to go. However, when I run the file, it will throw a bunch of errors during the node building. If you look inside the lob network, you'll see a lot of textures missing. So what's going on? There's now a new tool to check the surface and corresponding textures for issues. Press the Generate Surface list. Depending on the object size, this might take a moment. Here are all the surfaces of the object. Press the Generate Texture list. This will look into the texture source directory for all the available textures. And the cross-check function will check if the surface matches the first part of the texture files. This prints a list of all the surfaces that don't have matching textures. If you open the texture file directory here or here and search for cargo, you'll notice that none of the textures have spaces. So the issue is that the ObjectManager finds these surfaces with spaces between words. In this case, there are some mismatches because some surfaces have spaces in their names and their corresponding textures have underscores. You might be tempted to rename the textures to match the surfaces, however, spaces are generally a bad practice in 3D. So we need to rename all the surfaces in the 3D object so that spaces are replaced with an underscore. This is where the new Check and Fix Object tool steps in. Copy the object file from the Object Manager tab, set the corresponding material attribute. In most cases, that is the shop material path. The first button builds a test network. Here you can analyze the object and spot the issues, but we already know that the spaces are the issue. So let's remove the network and press the second button. This will build a network with the minimum nodes you'll need to fix the object. The attribute wrangle is already set to deal with the spaces because this is the most common issue. In the export node, you can press the Save to Disk, and this will save an underscore fixed BGO file for you to work with. So in the object file slot, you replace the original FBX file in the fixed BGO file. With that checked, we can now run the program, and if you look at the viewport, there are no missing textures anymore, and all the material nodes are built with RenderMan. That's it. Bye bye.